So good afternoon, everyone. This is Denise Armenio, certified emotion code, body code, and genius biofeedback practitioner. And I am here today with Claire McIntyre and Connie Minnis. And we are here to show you how to navigate the Genius app, and also to take on a volunteer who would like to work with me today. So if there is anybody out there who would like to volunteer that has not already been a volunteer, please let me know. I just want to give everybody a fair chance of being a volunteer. So if anybody wants to raise their hand or put a note in the chat if they want to be a volunteer, if you haven't already, please let me know and we can begin. Any takers? Anyone have any physical pain right now, or any emotional discomfort? Now, Linda, I guess your sure is yes, that would be you. If that is the case, you can, and Deborah is too. So, Linda, what is it, a physical issue that you're having right now?
Yeah, I have a lot of back issues, but you have done back before. If you'd like to see what the other lady has, I don't mind doing it another time.
Well, I mean, you did, I can work with the back. That's totally fine. And Deborah, we can always work with you another week, if that's okay. We haven't worked together though, Linda, on this, right?
No, I've emailed you, but I haven't heard back, so I don't know if you've gotten them or not.
Oh, okay. Well, you're here now, so all in divine timing, right?
Okay.
So let's work with that. And let me just type your name in here. Oh, I have to do it on here. What is your last name, Linda?
It's MC capital K INSTRY.
And is there a space between the C and the K?
No.
Okay. And your date of birth?
21st of July, 1948.
Okay, so I have all your information in there. Anybody that is new to using the Genius app, I think this page is pretty self-explanatory. We do like to have as much of the legal name as possible in here, and the birth date is important. It does kind of work as similar to like an IP address, so that when we run frequencies through the quantum field, that's how the energies know where they're going. So that's why we use those. The gender is not specific to that information going to the field. In the Genius, in this app, it's just basically is going to tell the Genius what graphics to show, either the anatomy of a male or a female, but it has nothing to do with the scan in this case. So anyway, after you add that information, I'm going to hit next. And what that does is then it adds Linda as a client record. So in the future, if I search her name, you will see her name show up in the client records. And now it's asking me for user information. It's always important to fill in something here, so there's some record of what the client is saying are their issues. So that's why that we would be working with them as non-medical professionals. We are not diagnosing anything, so we would want to get as much information as we could as to what the client is giving us to work with. And personally, I always really just work with symptoms and not diagnostic names or diagnosis names, but it is important to have it in this field. So, Linda, you said you have back pain?
Yeah, I have allergies and sometimes anxiety. And I've been having some gout issues. So I think that goes under arthritis, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Lots,
Digestive.
lots of digestive junk.
Okay. And back pain is here. Painful joints
Yeah, I have a labral tear in my right hip, which is brutal.
and neck pain.
Yeah, and I've been having some headaches that I don't usually get headaches, but for some reason I've been getting them lately.
Okay. Are you staying hydrated? Just curious.
I try to. I have what they call a floating hernia, so I can't seem to get down a glass of water until almost noon or better. It causes nausea and sometimes vomiting if I try to drink without food.
Okay. Um, muscle aches. I'm just trying to pick
No,
off anything in here. So anything here, night sweats, memory issues, increased hunger, lethargy,
low blood sugar,
low blood sugar. Is that on?
hypoglycemia.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I don't see anything else there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have plenty here. But as far as just to have can you rate your back pain on right now today on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being severe?
7.5.
Okay. And is there any other pain anywhere else?
I've been having some funny swelling above my waist, and I don't know what that is, but it's very uncomfortable. And right now it would be about 5, 6. But every time I eat, it's not bloating like what I would get below the waist. It's a kind of a fluidy type of stuff that's happening above the waist. I don't know what that is.
Okay. And you mentioned anxiety.
Yeah, I did mention before that I have a granddaughter with cancer right now, and she's only 13. So I think that's playing in on a lot of my feelings.
Yeah, stress is a big thing. So how would you rate that today, your level of anxiety?
She just
10
started
again, severe.
She just started another round of chemo today, so I'm up there in the 9.
Okay. Okay, so we will, if there's anything else you wanted to rate on this, we can put that in. Otherwise, I think.
Put insomnia.
Okay.
I missed that one.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I'm just going to hit begin here, which that's on the bottom down below in purple. And Linda, would you be okay to go on camera for just a minute so I can get your picture, and then we can also do your video.
Take my glasses off. Am I there?
You are there, and I forgot I have to do the voice analysis first because I have to take the picture with my iPad. I don't have it on my laptop right now. So you are familiar with this. I'll count you down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin, and then just say your full name, and then repeat A-E-I-O-U until the 15 seconds is up. So you'll probably say A-E-I-O-U around 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, depending on how fast you or slow you go. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, begin.
Linda McKinstry, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O.
Perfect. Okay, so now on the bottom left, you see where it says voice harmonics. I am just going to touch that. And what that does is the Genius will play back how it translated your spoken word into your voice format or frequency. So I'm just gonna, it is a low pitch sound, so I'm gonna have the volume up. So hopefully you could hear it. Okay, is my voice okay out there? Did my voice level drop with?
No.
Okay, perfect. So now the next thing, and then in listening to that playback, it kind of works as a homeopathic, or it trains you to your own voice. So it is good to always listen to that for the 15-30 seconds that it plays. And then after that, we just on the bottom right, I'm just going to hit next. And continue. Okay, so now I'm just going to go and do this as best I can here. All of you are smiling. Let me just, I've learned to do this so I don't have everybody. Okay, now I have. I'm just going to change this photo now. Hold on. Oh, darn it. There you go. Okay, so now I'm just going to do begin analysis on your picture by hitting down below the begin analysis. And we can just hit continue. Okay, so you see a couple of things here. First, the genius is asking us for an energetic affirmation for entrainment. So what this is basically asking is, and I always say yes because I always fill this in. I like to use all energies are transmuted into the frequency of love, and I'm going to type that in. But you can use a word if you just want to use the word love or joy or any other affirmation. You can use that here. It doesn't always have to be the one I use. So anyone is fine, but I'm going to use all frequencies are transmuted into pure love. And I am filled with your love, light, and gratitude. And so it is. Okay. So now what we're seeing is the genius is showing us 3 different categories: the biofield, body, and mind. For anyone who is on the trial, those are the only 3 categories you will see, unless you create a library or you purchase a library. So I'm going to go and get the libraries that I have and add them to Linda as a client. So I just hit those top 3 bars, which bring you to the back office. And then these are all different areas you can go into. But for to add the libraries to that client record, I just select libraries. And now on the bottom, it says add to client. And I'm going to hit select all and hit OK. And then I'm also going to go into master branch, which is down here on the bottom right. And I'm also going to select add to client. And For master branch, you need to do this twice. You need to do it under created and under shared. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to hit select all, which are, these are all my created master branch, which I'm going to send over or not, or just add to the client record. And now I tap on shared up above, and I'm going to hit add to client and select all and hit OK. So now I should have these all in, and I'm just going to back arrow up at the top, and I can hit begin analysis. You can see begin analysis down on the bottom in the red. Okay, so the first thing that I always like to go to, because otherwise I get distracted, is we want to look at what your aura picture looks like before we run any frequencies. So for that, we are just gonna click on this line here for aura and hit begin analysis down on the bottom. And look at your aura. That looks lovely. It's a little bit pale on the bottom, and there is some, you can see it, there is some dark shading in here, so that you are getting some kind of interference coming in. What I like to look for are bright, vibrant colors, and ideally one color. In colors that are pale or gray or muddy or black are a sign of stagnant energy or interference that could be from a number of things, but we do like to clear those. So anyway, that's my little blurb on the aura. So now the next thing that we looked at, so what happens is after the Genius runs its analysis, it then reorders the categories that we had. So you see body is up at the top. So that's telling us that the Genius is finding most of your energetic disturbances within the area of the body, which based on what you said, tends to make sense since you're having a lot of physical pain issues. And then it is seeing the next area to be your biofield, then something in my libraries, and then in the mind. So just to explain a little bit, the numbers on the right-hand side, the Genius uses a numerical value system, and it ranges from 0 to 777. The range from 0 to 100 is represented by the color blue. And blue is observed to be chronic energetic disturbances. So you've had them for a longer period of time. Blue can also represent under energy. So anything that's blue may not be getting enough energy. It's another way of saying it's out of balance. And so you want to bring balance to that item. And it can also be a sign of stagnant energy. After the next range is 101 to 450, and that's represented by the color green. And then we go to yellow, which is the range is 451 to 688. And then the red range is represented by it, the range is 689 to 777. And that's observed to be acute energetic disturbances or over energy. So they're disturbances that are happening now. They're new disturbances. It can also be looked at in Chinese medicine like heat or inflammation. So that just gives you a little explanation on the value system. Now, some may ask when you use the yellows or the greens, a lot of times when we want to drill down or be more focused in a given area, we may broaden the range and not just work on reds and blues, but work from the number range 600 and above and 200 and below. And the main reason for this is when we place items in the main hold tray, which is down here, you can see where it says main hold tray, that when items that are placed in that tray, when we run the balance there, the Genius runs algorithms that looks at the relationship to all the items in that tray. And often we'll find that those items that may be 600 and above or 200 and below will show as being a priority once they're looked at in relationship to others. So that's why we include it. If you wanted to run a quick balance, that is a great balance to do really quickly, or if you're short on time, anything that is on the particular screen, only the reds and the blues will run. So in this case, body systems, infection, energy, and brain EEG are the only 3 items that would run. But if you were to click on one of those lines, let's just look at digestion. Well, you only have 1 item there. Let's just see what might be a good thing to click on. Spinal energy. So here we're finding some more reds and blues. If you ran the quick balance there, those items would be what was selected, and you wouldn't have to drag and drop anything there. So how I like to start first is to get each client's body primed and in a good position to receive frequencies. And I do that by running a library that I have, but another way that you could do it if you don't have the library is work with the minerals and the biofield first. But I am going to use the library that I have since it has I've added a few additional items to it. And we just need a minute here. It takes a few minutes. I do have a over 2,000 libraries, so it takes a little bit of time here. And so I use my vessel priming library, and I am just going to add all of these items for you, Linda.
Okay.
Because it's going to look at, we'll see when it looks at them all in relationship to you, what shows up. So I'm going to run all of the items for 1 minute, and then if we need to run it longer, we can do that. So 23%, I usually like to look for 40% and higher for rectifications. And I am looking down here at the bottom of the screen. And you see on the bottom, it says average percent rectification. So that number is the average of these 3 numbers here: harmony, alignment, and energy flow. And I do like to see that at 40 above if possible. I am just going to run all of them. I'm going to rescan and run the highs on just 1 minute, and hopefully we can get a little higher rectification here for you. And I'm just going to hit play. It's also important. Have you, I don't know where you are. Is it later in the day? Have you had water yet today?
Not straight water. I can do that right now.
So we see that at 26%. I would, let's run that again for another minute for you. I'd really like to see that higher for you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just rescan this. Okay, and now I'm just going to run it on high.
I was reminded when I was getting that drink of water that I have a right hand tremor. It'd be nice if this fixed that.
A right hand tremor.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to run some pain frequencies. We'll look at your back, hip area, and anxiety. But I also want to look at hydration for you because you may not be getting enough from the water. So. Okay, so that's much better. I'm happy that's at 46%. So I'm going to back out of this now so we can go to the main page. I am going to clear all these for now. If we need to go back to this, we can always go back to it. And now I'm going to go to system overviews. The general overview. So how we get to general overview is if you, I don't know if you can see it up here, or just above the quick zap. I'm blocked a little bit, so hopefully I can't get my cursor up there, but at the top of the page, if you just tap on system overview, it brings you to general overview. And I'm just going to hit begin analysis here. And general overview is basically, it takes everything that's on the system view page and it reorders all the line items from all the libraries in numerical order. So you can see what your highs are and what your lows are, which can be pretty significant because often some of those items you may not have normally looked at because maybe you wouldn't have known to look there. So that is why I use this. So I am going to add all the reds and the blues to the main hold tray, and then we can run a balance on these here. And again, I'm going to run all of them for 1 minute. Do you have any issues with green beans?
It always comes up in my Genius that I'm allergic to them, but I wasn't aware, and I just stay away from them.
Do you eat them still?
No, I haven't had one. I did have some allergies.
I I can't hear you. 1 second. I'm sorry. I don't know if other people can hear you, but I can't hear you very well with this running. Oh, thanks, Wendy. Is that better? I lowered it a little bit. Okay, so 59%. Again, that's amazing. I'm really happy with that. I just wanted to take a quick look on what some of these things are in here. So we're seeing a lot of meridian points in here. Zinc has shown up, anxiety is showing up. So I'm going to back out of here. I am going to empty the main hold tray again, just so it freezes up to work with some other items. And so I always like to look at today's stress just to see what we're looking at. And virus is showing up. And then there's a jump. So that's actually 757. And then degeneration is at 515. And then we see on the bottom bacteria, adrenal. So I'm going to add the blues and the reds for sure. And I'm going to add nutritional. I'm going to add these that are 200 and below. I'm going to add blood sugar because you mentioned that as being low. I'm going to add emotional.
Would you put in heart at 224 just for my own curiosity, and kidney at 291?
Sure. We're going to add inflammation and heavy metal, connective tissue. I'm going to add sensitivities. Let's just add degeneration in there. Oh, actually, there was one other one I wanted to add, I think. And oh, I added it, acid. Okay. And I'm going to add digestion, all of these in here for you. So we have your yellows and greens.
And I don't have a gallbladder.
That's okay, because the energy of the gallbladder may still be there. Yeah. So that could be why that's still showing up. You still want to balance the energy of it. You can see that oftentimes virus or bacteria can show up. Let's say you were just recently sick, or you were sick and you physically cleared the virus or the bacteria or whatever it is, but for whatever reason, the imprint or the energy of that maybe didn't clear, and you could be getting potential symptoms from it as if you did have it physically. So
well, I did have Lyme. I hope it's finally gone.
So, well, I hope so too. Did you see that come up, or are you just mentioning it?
No, just that I saw virus and infection, and I thought
okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. And for you, I also want to add in here your spinal energy. I'm going to add the reds and the ones that are above 600 and below. We did get all of them when we did the vessel priming, the first round of it. So the next thing I want to look at here is I'm just going to go to emotions for you as well, because I know
all over the map.
Well, I'm going to add your theta on here, and I'm going to add emotions. And these ones that are 600 and above. I think I just add these blues. Okay. So I'm happy with everything that I've covered in here, only because we've covered most of it, a lot of it now with my vessel priming and with the general overview. So now I'm going to go into my libraries, and I am first going to select one of my pain libraries because we want to see if we could help you with that. So I'm going to add all the reds and blues in here. And there are quite a number, and it's starting off with neck pain, back pain, joint pains, arthritis. We have oxygenation in there, which is important because you want to make sure that you're getting oxygen to all these areas. And we can just look on blues to see what's showing up on the bottom. We have muscle spasm, neck ache. Do you have any inflammatory bowel issues?
I've been doing pretty good. I was in a car accident that really messed things up for a while, but I seem to be all right as long as I take my magnesium at night.
Okay, good. So I just want to add in some of these that are below 200.
Oh, and I have osteoporosis. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that showed up.
I can't take anything in a drug form for pain or inflammatory issues.
Does it upset your stomach?
They cause my kidneys to fail. I've been in numbers a couple of times. Oh, sorry. I'll go to another room where they wanted to use dialysis because my numbers were so low. But I've been trying to stay on top of it with goldenrod.
Okay.
And then the doctor checks me twice a year just to make sure I know where my numbers are. And then I work with a naturopathic too. They both know that I use each other.
Okay. So I added pain. I want to look at hydration for you quickly in here. Oh, sorry. This is not the right. Just going to add the reds and blues in here since there are a couple of different libraries in here. So I want to see what the blues look like on this. Sometimes our body just doesn't, there could be something that's causing, whoops, I just did this one.
I've always felt like I don't use my water. It just always felt like I don't hydrate.
So yeah, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Often there could be issues that for whatever reason there's something energetically blocking it. So I'm gonna sneeze again. Okay. So let's look at your muscles. And your back and neck are showing up as blue. And I'm going to add all of these in here. And joints is showing up, ligaments. So again,
I feel
And
like I can't get enough exercise anymore. The car accident made it so I can't run anymore. And I can
okay.
only walk 2.5 blocks before the labral tear has a fit. And then I can't walk right. I'm limping and pulling my leg up a stair. And so I know I don't exercise enough, but what do you do?
I know it's hard. Well, hopefully maybe this will help open some stuff up for you. I added the muscles. I just, the main tray is getting a little bit full. We can do a couple, but I just want to, um,
Denise, it's Dr. Deb here. Can I chime in one comment? All
absolutely.
pain is usually due to acidity. And acidity is nullified by vitamin C, which is what builds your cartilages, all your joints, your ligaments, your connective tissues. So she may need to have more vitamin C and more acid base control to get over this hump of everything burning everywhere. So I just wondered if you spot anything on the acid base, it
Well,
might
I
be worth a
did
chat.
add, acidity did not show up. I don't recall as being,
It wasn't in the blue, but we added
well,
it.
it's 187, so it's below 200, but I mean, I did add it, and we can look, on minerals where that, um, I mean, sorry, vitamins.
When I do take vitamin C lately, I get the runs.
Well,
So
there's vitamin C, so thank you, Deb, for your expertise as always.
And you can never absorb vitamin C without its cofactor vitamin B and vice versa. So usually try to take your BC and or together simultaneously, and they have double absorption of both of them.
if it's a yellow bee, then I'm vomiting. I can take the white bees, but not the yellow ones.
Try to get the most natural food sources of the B vitamins if you can.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just, we have a lot of items in here, so let's run the analysis on here. I'm gonna run all of them for 1 minute, rescanning in between, and then I'll run just the highs. B5 is showing up right at top, so are you okay? You're not reactive to frequencies, right? You're not like sensitive
If,
to
if I do it too much, then I feel nauseous, but I've learned that it's a different kind of nausea. It took me a while to figure it out, but once I feel that, then I just go away from all my computer stuff for a while, usually for a
so
day.
what's the max on minutes that you can tolerate?
Oh, probably an hour or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I've been,
48% rectification. That's great. Let's rescan.
yeah, I have been trying to fix myself. I just haven't figured it out.
So I'm gonna run all again for 1 minute. So everything, hopefully we're trying to get the ones that will clear easier out of the way and open it up to the ones that are the toughest. We'll run those for 3 minutes. I do want to hopefully get to work on some anxiety a little bit for you, if possible, but we have emotions that are running in here. So and back pain did show up high on this. You can see back pain is showing up. Hydration for your wellness. %. I'm not going to worry about that being low because we just had a good rectification before that, but I am going to rescan and then we'll run just the highs. for 3 minutes. Now I remain hydrated when I'm exercising. Did show up on it's been pretty high up on 2 of the scans. And you have some vitamin C in here. So let's just, because of time, I'm not running through all of them to look through all of them because we're already at 10 minutes to the hour and I want to try to run some of those other libraries for you. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Have you worked on the gut specifically at all?
I usually just do the general overview and let the program be the smarts. But when the library shows up at the top, I've made a few. And I usually end up on Lyme. So I thought maybe that was my biggest problem, but I'm not even seeing it here.
Well, Lyme is also very emotional. So from my experience, whenever Lyme shows up, I always work with emotions a lot as well. So you may want to try that if you haven't already.
Yeah, it seems to me that whatever we suffer physically started on the outside, probably the biofield, and then works into our body, right? I think what we think is pretty important.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. So when this stops, if you can tell me. How is, do you notice any changing or shifts or anything in your back or hip?
Yeah, the low back isn't as tense. It was very, very tense. And the pain.
I'm sorry, you know what? I should have known better than to ask you a question because I can't hear you right now. I don't know if anybody else could hear you, but with the frequencies running, I can't hear you. Just give me a minute. All right, so we had 20% rectification on that. Now, I'm sorry, how are you saying?
The pain isn't sharp like it was, and I'm more like I can move my low back and forth, and it's not hurting. Before, I felt like if I moved an inch, it would break, but I'm not feeling that. And as far as the pain, I'd say I'm closer to 4 or 5 now.
Okay, and that when you were at
7.5.
a 7.5. Okay, so we're making some progress here, which is great. This is on 20%. I'm gonna run it for 1 more minute for you. We'll go and look at the anxiety. I'm not sure that we looked at cortisol. I also want to check that and make sure that we add that in on the next round, but we did hit adrenals, so. And I would work on yourself, on the gut, and maybe look at parasites and some of those other things, because, you know, as you know from watching these week after week, that's always gonna have some effect. Okay, great. So that went up to 52%. So that's awesome. So let's, do you have a QuantiCap?
Yes, I haven't used it for years. I forget how.
Work with some of these anxiety issues here for you. And let's look at let's just run these right now for you. I'm running all of the ones that showed up. Do you have a few extra minutes?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Dr. Deb will be excited to hear this. I'm hearing that I need to look at one of the libraries in the bio terrain for you to hopefully maybe help. Great. We had 46% here. And I want to where is the so I'm just going to add all of these in here for you, as well as go to well, we could look at your pH balance and just we'll add the reds and the blues in here. And okay. Let's just hit all of these. If we had more time, I would be running the alls and then going to the highs, but since we're a little bit pressed for time, I'm just gonna run them all for the 1 minute here.
Okay.
61%. So yes, that's awesome. I also want to look at the Schuster salts for you. And that's showing up as blue. I'm just going to add them to what we were just already running. And we will just run those alls again for 1 minute. I do know, I know that Dr. Deb can speak better on on the zinc chloride or the potassium phosphate, even though we don't have a lot of time here. But I do know that silica is good for osteoporosis. So I don't know if you take anything for that.
I have
Dr.
some
Deb, do
kids.
you agree with that? Silica is good for osteoporosis.
Absolutely. Silica is one of the most important elements in all connective tissues. And if you have any bone loss, the homeopathic remedy called Cal-Fleur, the calcium fluoride that makes your bones, teeth, and hair and bones all strong. Strontium also heals the bones, as well as vitamin D at high dose, which is stolen if you have any thymus, fatigue, or infections. So keep on working on the zinc, the DCB, and generally speaking, estrogen is required for the bones, or progesterone, better still, which is made out of B vitamin, zinc, and olive oil, or DHEA. So working on your adrenals, your nuts and seeds, your berries, your olive oil, those things will literally help over time.
We had a good rectification. It was 51%. I'm just running the aura, and then we're just going to close it up with running the gems for you. You know, we're seeing, we ran a lot of frequencies on you. I wouldn't think this is bad, but you know, I would like to see this area in here brighter and having the color come in more vibrant and full. But let's just run the gem library to kind of close things up here for you. And let's see. Let's just run a quick balance on these guys. Okay, go. There we go. Are you still, how is did the pain go shift anymore, or?
4, 3, 4.
Okay, so that's good. And what about what did you say was a 9? Your hip?
The labor. No, I think the 9 was anxiety.
Oh, and how is your anxiety?
I'd say it's down to about a 5.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. Let's see. Didn't adjust the rectification, but I don't think it did. Let's just see if we could get another aura picture here and see how that looks for you. Well, great. So your anxiety feels better and your back is feeling better. Your hip?
Well, I couldn't judge that unless I tried to walk a distance.
Okay.
Right? But it fires up really bad if I take too many steps.
Okay. And what about your hand tremors?
Oh, well, if I picked up something that had a little bit of weight, I can tell you. Still there.
Okay, well, we're making progress. Your aura, you know, we're working with a lot of frequencies here in this short period of time. So, I mean, you're still moving stuff around.
Yeah.
So, but I am very happy that you're making some progress.
Yes.
Continue to drink water. I know as best you can. I know that it makes you feel nauseous, but maybe you'll see some shifts in your ability to drink water where it's not making you feel nauseated if you drink it early in the morning. I don't know what would cause that. Dr. Deb, do you have any idea what would cause that?
I think it's a floating hernia.
So
by a floating hernia, do you mean like a hiatus sliding hernia, that when you lie down, it slides up above your diaphragm and chokes you? And then when you stand up, the stomach slides down under the diaphragm, and later in the day, you're okay?
Yeah.
So are you having a lot of weight? Are you carrying more weight than usual below the belt that's pushing up on your diaphragm?
Yeah, there's kind of a fluidy weight above my waist that I can't figure out what to do with.
heavy metals?
Well, the question is she obstructing in her gall? Is her stomach kinked and so it can't empty properly? Or has she got a hernia that's kinking it? Or does she have a duodenal ulcer or parasite or tapeworm that's swelling the duodenum so it can't empty? So all the water that she drinks in the morning is stuck up in the stomach and can't flow around the corner. So a duodenal ulcer from pinworms, tapeworms, H. pylori, something like that along the duodenal bulb might be causing her to unable to empty the morning stomach contents out, and then she's not able to drink properly. Now I'm not diagnosing you over the phone and doing a haircut without you in front of me, but if you do have some issues here, and we do see giardia, which causes hernias and tearing of tissues, steals all the sulfur from you. The roundworms are stealing all the zinc from you. The tapeworms are stealing all the chromium, and a lot of these parasites I think should be addressed, and your stomach would probably settle quite a bit.
So we did run them a little bit, but it may be something that you would want to work on.
Yeah.
Um,
That
more
giardia can live in
unfortunately.
your gallbladder 25 years and cause every distress you can imagine. So I would really chase down that giardia and those roundworms, etc. Okay.
Okay.
Do the helminths, the tapeworms, see if everything starts settling. And can I just make one last comment? When you have parasites, they love the same vitamins you do. So when your body is being stolen from magnesium to run your blood sugar in your pancreas, and your manganese to run your spleen, and your molybdenum to run your thyroid, those 3 M's that help you lose weight, usually those are stolen by the very tapeworms that we see here on you, okay? So as you get rid of those tapeworms, you're going to get back those elements that cause that purple aura to come back up. Like your aura is so purple, it makes me think that you're craving the purple color of manganese. So I'm not quite sure how to totally address the auras, because sometimes when your body is healthy, you hold your aura within you. And when you're missing something, you blow that color all out around you.
Well, it
So
was
is too much red coming out of you low zinc, or too much purple coming out of you meaning low magnesium or manganese? I'm not totally sure. I don't want to complicate matters, but I'm going to tell you folks that every time you're missing something, there's somebody stealing from you. Look into the gut, see if there's a bug that's stealing the very minerals that run your metabolism, and you'll usually have great success there.
Well, they did have me doing MRI on the pancreas every year. I think I had to do it 4 times because there was lymph node that was full of something that was blocking the pancreas. And my first thought was parasite.
Well, I want to tell you this. If you were a big, long transport truck, wouldn't you like to park in a big, long, tubular garage? So the big, long tubes of the pancreas and the big, long bile tubes of the liver are just a perfect place for these big, long tapeworms to lay their eggs and grow a big, long transport truck in those tubes. And that's what looks like a blockage on CT scan. And yet the doctor says, well, there's no tumor markers up. So what is blocking you? It's usually the worm blocking that pancreatic duct and causing lymph nodes in the head of the pancreas and in the duodenal bulb, which is what's called gastric lymphoma. The fastest raising cancer in the world is just duodenal H. pylori, causing a big swollen gland right near the head of your pancreas. And now you think you got diabetes, but you could treat the tapeworm or the H. pylori in the duodenum and open up that flow again and be perfectly fine.
I take something morning and night, but I guess I haven't got it.
Okay, so let's work for the next 5 to 12 weeks on parasites, and you keep track of a weight measurement around your navel and see if your bloating goes down, your digestion goes down. All of these elements need to be mapped, because I think that these are the bugs that are stealing the sulfur and the zinc and the copper and the manganese out of your joints. And this is why your joints are only the skid marks of the accident caused by these bugs.
Okay.
I just want to point out, I don't mean to interrupt, but the nat sulf, I just ran while you were talking for a little bit, the
Right on.
remedies for parasites and the alcoholism. Not suggesting that there's alcoholism, but that's included with the parasites because our body produces.
I don't drink at all.
Right, but it's scoring 700 on you, so you're drunk without knowing it by the internal fermentation of the phenol tequila from the tapeworm.
Oh, that's sad.
So you might as well have a good laugh. You might as well
is,
enjoy the party, but their time has come. And the yeast in the third on the list is what causes all the gout crystals in the joints. But the yeast is what's fermenting the alcohol. Then the worms are drinking the alcohol and they've got a party going on in your duodenum.
So I'm doing black walnut hull, wormwood, cloves, oregano. Well, what am I missing?
Okay, well, if you're already doing every element that there is there and you're not getting rid of these worms, I would suggest regular twice a day Genius for a couple of weeks, or adding in a more specific selective deworming agent like Mimosa pudica.
I did make that library.
Or boswellia, frankincense. It's really good to kill the worms.
I've been doing, for about a week, I've been using frankincense oil just on my wrists and rubbing it in and on my tummy.
Okay, so you need to take the oral form of that in the gut, which is called boswellia herb.
Oh, okay.
Not any medical advice to anybody, but realize, folks, that whatever bug you have, they have specific frequencies that they like low vibration. So if you can raise your vibration with light, with water, with saltiness, with fresh air, with moving around and getting your lymph going, you start getting the upper hand on them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And also, again, I'm sorry. I want to remind everybody that next Thursday live is going to be on Wednesday, the same time. So you won't need a new registration link. Just the same one, right? Michaela, it's just the same registration link. And Michaela's saying, yes, it is. So just tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And
Thank you,
we will
ladies.
be here. It is 3:13. Let's just get one last aura picture for you, and then we need to wrap it up for today. Linda, thank you,
Thank you.
for being a guest, and I hope you're feeling better. Please email me, Denise at Insight Health Apps, and let me know how you're doing tomorrow. This is looking better. I mean, it's still pale, but we see colors coming in. Seem to be a little bit brighter. We do have, it looks like there's some interference in here. You may want to work with the spiritual protection library and some other, and in your biofield a little bit.
Okay.
And you might even want to work on, if you have, I'm not going to say the word, but if you have any libraries that help.
No, I didn't do that.
No, but if you have any libraries that have some protection, because we do absorb from people around us. So, when we go out in public and we're around people, we can be absorbing those. So you might just want to run those if you have them to help with interference. But that's all we're going to say on that word for today, or not say on that word for today. But it was a pleasure working with you. And everyone, thanks so much for being here. I really enjoy working with you and seeing everybody's comments. So have a great week, and until next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for your help. Thank you, Claire and Connie, for your input on the chat. And Dr. Deb, thank you, as always, on your expertise in some of those areas. So thank you.
Great job. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.